Abraham was a person that walked by faith. He didn't walk by sight. He heard from God, and he journeyed through a land that he didn't have nowhere he knew where to go.
No.
He just walked by faith. He was looking for a city. The builder and maker was God.
Yeah.
And that's all he had to go by.
Uh-huh.
But here we find him just coming out of Egypt with his wife, Sarah, and his nephew, Lot. And he was rich with silver and gold and cattle. They was here. They was journeying down southward towards Bethel and Hai. I'm going somewhere with this, and
Okay.
they're going down to Bethel and Hai. Well, Abraham first heard from God.
Uh-huh.
Well, he first built an altar to worship God.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to receive a confirmation later on, but he's going back to his first surveying marker.
Bless the Lord.
His first surveying marker with God. He built an altar to worship God.
He marked that spot.
His first altar, he rebuilt it. A lot of times we have to go back and rebuild an altar that we may neglect or may have to go back to.
Yeah.
And
Take me back.
take me back to the place that I first heard from you. And this is what Abraham done. And the land wasn't quite what we would picture a land to be, as far as good pasture field for cattle or for flocks.
Uh-huh.
The land was kind of dry and docile. We had two wealthy men, Abraham and Lot. They was trying to have cattle and flocks on the same amount of land, and it wasn't working out.
Yeah.
And their strife came between Abraham's husband and Lot's husband for rights over the land to feed the flocks.
Mm-hmm.
So Abraham and Lot had a discussion about it,
Yep.
what to do.
Uh-huh.
And I believe both of them was kind of sorrowful.
Sure.
Both of them was kind of dreading what needed to be done. They didn't see no way out of it. But here we want to start picking up at verse 10. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plains of Jordan, which before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as though containing to Zoar. Here this land was just all beautiful, with all kind of water, all kind of grasslands. Be easy to feed cattle, to feed sheep, whatever would be, whatever Abraham had or Lot had, be easy to feed. But it wasn't a very pretty picture, which it was, but it wasn't. because it leaded up to sin, and stuff. Sin will paint put a picture into the land, or into what you see, but ends up leading to destruction later on. And Lot chose all the plains of Jordan into Lot journeyed eastward, and though separated them south and one from another. There was, if you look farther back in the book of Genesis, all the way back to the beginning, east wasn't a very good place to be at that time, because God had a lot of dealings with east at the time. Because we find out there's Adam and Eve, there's Adam and Eve in chapter 3 and 24, Cain in 4 and 16, and later on, the Tower of Babel in 11 and 2. They all went eastward, and all of them had the judgment of God upon them. And Lot chose this path to go to. And Lot, going into verse 12, Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the city and the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. And this is me looking how Lot went over the situation. He got so close to Sodom at that time. It says he pitched his tent in the city and in the plains. I believe that he could actually see Sodom at a distance. And I believe he heard all the stuff going on in Sodom, and all the sin that was in there. But yet he ignored what was going on. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinful before the Lord exceedingly. The judgment and stuff was going to come upon them later on, which I'm going to stay out of the next week's lesson. Because it's hard to, like Brother Toby said, when you're teaching Abraham, it's hard to stay out of another person's lesson. Because there's so much meat there, it's kind of hard to cover without stepping on something. Yes. And the Lord said unto Abraham, and to Lot, to separate from him, lift up thy eyes and look from the place which thou art, north, south, eastward, and westward. Abraham was, I believe he was still feeling sorry. He feeling kind of grievance about what happened. Here the Lord kind of just gave him a little bit of space to think things over, reflect on what happened between him and Lot. But now it's time to assure the promises that God gave Abraham. From all which thou sayest, to thee all I give it, and to the seed forever. Abraham didn't know what type of journey he's going to go on. One thing he's going to do is trust God, and he knew that his seed was going to inhabit the land and dwell in it. I will make that seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall the seed also be numbered. He said, Abraham, I'm going to make you a nation. Your seed's going to be great. It's going to be unnumberable. You're going to be blessed and highly favored unto God.
Amen.
But we're here, well, I was getting back to the altar, from the false altar that he built and worshiped God. He said, Abraham, just rise, take a walk with me.
Yeah.
Walk the length there of the land. Walk the breadth there of the land. It's all yours. However far you can see, it's all yours.
Yeah.
And then Abraham removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plains, meadows, which is in Canaan, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Wherever Abraham went, he always built an altar. He always worshiped God.
Somebody was blessed.
He always placed those survey markers there, them altars, to see where he went and where God brought him from.
That's right. Okay.
And
Where you going or where you going?
he's always reassuring of the promises that he received. I know that was a short lesson, but
Good.
that's what God gave me. And from this, I'm thankful for the church to entrust me with the Word of God. Thankful for the pastor and for the elders of the church to trust me behind this sacred desk, because I do not want to do anything to the Father.
Bless your heart.